Hey y'all, welcome to my first ever restricted Ironman account, Keelbound. So I've played some Ironman, Ultimate Ironman, and Group Ironman in the past, and in classic RuneScape player fashion, I'm gonna start yet another account before maxing. My first thought with Keelbound was to do a full sailing locked Ironman, but that means I'd only be able to access the chunks where we dock, which pretty much limits any endgame goals or content. There's a few crucial sailing quests that have prerequisites. And let's be real, this kind of thing needs a culmination, a peak, a mountain, a crescendo. Okay, honestly, I just want to start with Fire Cape, then think about taking over the world. So Keelbound's first chapter will focus on that, killing Jad and getting the iconic Fire Cape. So I came up with 3 rules that should enable me to do the quest needed for sailing, open up the Fire Cape, and possibly unlock content like raids in the future. Here they are. Rule number 1, starting Keelbound. Keelbound will spawn in Lumbridge, which isn't quite on the sea. We'll be forced to run immediately to Port Sarim straight from spawn. I can keep the tutorial items on me, but no picking up XP or items along the way. The observant among you will be like, "Hey Keelbound, how are you gonna do deep sea charting if you can't do the prerequisites of Recipe for Disaster, which is in Lumbridge?" Well, hold on, because we got something for that. Rule number 2, sailing chunks. Keelbound is bound to sailing areas, meaning he is stuck to the sea. But sailing requires players to dock at ports throughout Gielinor in order to do cargo tasks. This means we'll give Keelbound access to the areas on land where the ports exist. The boundaries for these unlocks are going to be the chunks, or map-loaded tiles that contain the port. As a bonus, we'll add on 3 bonus chunks that we'll choose whenever we unlock the port via sailing. And anything within those chunks is fair game, including things like dungeons, item spawns, crafting objects, and NPCs. So for example, Keelbound's first challenge of Jad requires the player to go into the Karamja volcano, but the volcano isn't located on a chunk with a dock. So when Keelbound unlocks Karamja, we'll unlock the 3 chunks required to get to the volcano. Wait a second. Is it Karam... Huh? Like a silent J? Karamja... Huh? It's pronounced Karamjar. Anyways. Rule number 3, river chunks. The first boat accessible to us via sailing is the raft, a small, humble craft. Although it looks small enough to fit up the many rivers of Gielinor, it doesn't quite. But we can pretend. What we'll do is unlock any chunks that contain a river which connects to an accessible sea. These are the river chunks. So the river Lum, which flows from the wilderness to the Lumbridge Basin, would unlock these 9 chunks. You could probably see where we're going with this already, as it unlocks some of the foundational quests to the game like Cook's Assistant, and you guessed it, sailing relies on that quest. That being said, the main rule here is that Keelbound will always prioritize activities in the sailing chunks over the river chunks. And that's it! Keelbound is a sailing restricted, river adventuring, stinky child of someone who plays way too much RuneScape. So let's get started. Here he is! He's real in the game! Let's do it, man. Let's get out of here. We do not belong here. We gotta fit to the sea. Well, that's it. Keelbound's cooked. Got XP on land. GG's. There it is. Keelbound is at Hardcore Ironman. Maybe if this thing goes well enough, we'll ultimate Keelbound next time. And like that, tutorial is done. And thus, the Keelbound run begins. Ew. Dry land. Let's get out of here. Oh man, I really want to pick up all that stuff. Ah! Whoa! I totally forgot about those guys. That could have ended very poorly. I gotta remember I'm a hardcore Iron Man. Right, home sweet home. Port Sarim. And so it begins. Let's get our first boat. Alright, to be fair, this isn't my boat, so I'm not gonna get too excited. The dolphins, the birds, we're out there. We're out there. This is it. Alright, they want us to go check out this wreck. The first sailing XP drop! Salvage away, Mr. Keelbound. F, dude. It's Steve Meany. Keelbound goals right there. If we can acquire that drip and become that piratey, I'd say we achieved it all. What about ribs? Let's settle for this. To be honest, it's a little more Keelbound style. I can see old man Keelbound looking like that. Alrighty, we're gonna go talk to Junior Jim. See if we can get our first boat. Junior Jim! I'm gonna build up our first wonderful watercraft. Look at this thing. Oh my god. Keelbound, you can do better, buddy. We're off to do a cargo hold task. Basically, we'll go pick up some stuff, bring it back. Alright, look, it took Keelbound a couple days to get to the sea. He had to think up, you know, how he was gonna deal with the world. You know, people have better boats now, but, you know, we'll catch up. We'll catch up. It's fine. It's not a race. That's a level 30, the Barracuda Trials. Lovely, lovely Port Sarim, we have returned. Let's go get us some cargo. Keelbound gets to show off his muscles for a little bit. Oh, yeah. That's our guy. Load her up and bring her back. So as I'm sailing here, I'm looking at my inventory and I'm thinking about banks. What is the bank situation for Keelbound? It looks like the first problem we'll run into is the ability to bank often. We'll have to figure out which ports have banks at them and use them strategically. The first bank we'll encounter is on the Pandemonium, the bank crab, which, given the run from the port, is probably not the best option for us. But there's plenty of other ports out there with banks, so as we encounter them, we'll put them in our memory and build a map of how we can best bank on Keelbound. Cha-ching! First cargo task completed. Ooh, and a nice level 2 sailing. Alright, back to Steve we go. It's old Grog! Okay, that is Keelbound's final form. And just like that, Pandemonium's completed, we've got our raft, and we're gonna get a sick, sick level 5 sailing. We can now dock at Land's End and Hosidius. So if for some reason we wanted to travel across the entire sea right now, we could do so. Completing Pandemonium also gets us one other thing that'll help our sailing adventures inside this cave. It is the spyglass. So basically what you do is you stand on the sparkly area and you open the spyglass and boom. You get a little cutscene, you get a little XP, and you feel a little better about yourself. You also fill out a log. If you chart all of the things in a specific area of the sea, you actually unlock some buffs in the area, like speed boosts and things like that. So we'll want to minimize the amount of time it takes to get from place to place, since we really don't have a lot of options as far as teleports and things like that go. So those buffs will be pretty critical to the Keelbound adventure. Hey, just like that, level 6 sailing. Alright, so this here is the bank crab, and bank pretty much everything except for the spyglass and maybe some other things that we need, like the captain's log. Maybe also the bronze pickaxe and bronze axe, in case we encounter any trees along the way. I think we basically will need to maximize the amount of skilling we do as we reach islands, so that we can keep the levels going, and not have to go back and forth and get into grinds. Because, first of all, I have no clue where anything is as far as sailing goes. These islands have all sorts of goodies on them, and I really don't think about the game in terms of, you know, ports and what's around the ports. I think of things like, hey, I need to go level woodcutting. Let's go to the teaks. So we'll have to build that mental map just like with the banks and try to understand where is the best place to train each of these things along the way. Alrighty, Pandemonium's complete. I think we'll just run a couple cargo tasks. So we're at the Pandemonium. I think we'll probably just deliver some stuff to Port Sarim, do it back and forth a couple times. Board up, Mr. Round. What the hell just happened? Oh no! Keelbound! Oh my god. Oh no! Oh, thank god. I thought that was it, man. I thought it was... Oh, I thought we lost our hardcore in like the first 10 seconds of the series. Holy crap. Alright, so we lost our boat though, so we're gonna have to get our boat back, and there's a bit of an issue here. I'd like to recover a boat. I think it's gonna cost us something. 375 gold. Wait a second. This actually may be the end of Keelbound. I don't have any way to get money here. Oh, brother. Alright, we gotta do a little exploring here. Surely there's something. There's something to save us. Please, Jagex. Holy crap, y'all. I'm not sure there's anything we can do. I thought maybe there would be something in this cave that we could kill that drops gold, but it's not looking good, guys. Maybe there's somebody we can pickpocket? Something? Wait a second. Henderson. Fishing stuff. Hold. Alright, guys. I think I've found something. It looks like there's a small net spot here. If we can go get our net from the bank, we should be able to fish up some shrimp and anchovies. And then we can sell those to Henderson and get our GP back. I cannot believe this is happening. What a crazy start to the account. Alrighty, we got our first raw shrimp. Let's go to Henderson and see how much we get. We'll have to do the math and try to figure out what we can do to get our 375 gold back. Please, Henderson, give me more than 1 GP for this shrimp. Ooh! 3 GP. Alright, look. I'll take it. That just means we need to fish another 130 or so shrimp to get our boat back. Alright, well, we know what we signed up for. The very first grind begins on Keelbound. It's not the one we were expecting, but it's the one we deserve. $149 shrimp later, we're finally free. I still cannot believe this is happening, but we should be able to sell these to the guy over here and get our boat back. Looks like we can sell about 12 per world before the price starts dropping, so I'm going to do a bit of world hopping here, sell 10 each world, and go through the entire stack. Alright, there it is, 375 gold. We can finally get back to our cargo task. This has been, I believe, one in many very, very strange things that are going to happen on this account. I couldn't ever predicted myself selling raw shrimp to get my boat back. Since we have a couple extra shrimp, I'm going to go over here to this range, or whatever this is, and hook up these. It's a cooking pot. Alright, and there's a giant turtle next. Try to get some cooking levels, have some food, just in case something weird happens. I really don't know what the heck to expect at this point, so we're going to carry at least a little bit of food with us at all times. Keelbound's not off to a great start as far as taking damage goes. Alright, Jim, let's get our vessel back. Okay, so this time, we'll have to avoid the stormy waters. Let's try this again. Let's go to Port Sarum. Awesome. Sailing level 7. Looks like now we can accept up to 2 port tasks. This is huge. So this way we can go one way and back and cover both tasks in one trip. Holy crap, they put cormorants in the game? Oh my god. Guys, this is like IRL one of my favorite birds. Cormorants are crazy. They have blue eyes because they dive into the water to get fish. They're kind of like penguins, but they are in more temperate areas. I'm a complete bird nerd, so it's so cool to see that. Holy crap, that is so cool. And that's another port task completed. A little bit of money and 8 sailing. Let's freaking go. Alright, so what are we doing? We're leveling up right now. We're kind of focusing on sailing. And what's the goal here? The goal here in the beginning of Keelbound is to really focus on the sailing quests as the drivers to our journey. The sooner we get them done, the more XP we'll be bringing in from various sea tasks. The next quest in Keelbound's journey is Prying Times. Prying Times unlocks the crowbar, which allows us to salvage drink crates, which we find in the sea. Drink crates contain various different potions with wildly different effects, a lot of which are actually kind of scary for hardcore Ironman. We have to be very careful when drinking these potions, or we can lose hardcore in a blink of a drink. Anyways, to start Prying Times, there's a couple requirements. 12 sailing, which we're already working on at level 8, and 30 smithing, which, well, we're 1 smithing. There's also a quest requirement for a knight's sword, located in Falador, which conveniently gives 12,725 smithing XP, putting Keelbound at 29 smithing with 600 XP to 30. So that means Keelbound will have to make his first adventure back onto land. If we take a look at Keelbound's currently unlocked chunks, we have Port Sarum, and that's about it. To do Knight's Sword, we need to go to Falador, but this chunk is 4 chunks away, and Keelbound is only allowed 3 chunks from any port. so we'll have to get creative. Luckily, there's a port in the chunk to the west of Port Sarim on Karamjar that is Musa Point. When we unlock this chunk, we will have 3 chunks for each port. We can get creative with this, and instead of going for the volcano like we originally planned, we can use the Musa Point chunks to go up towards Falador, unlocking the Night Sword. Eventually, we'll unlock the port at Brimhaven, which we can use to get to the Karamjar volcano. This leaves us with 3 chunks for Port Sarim, but maybe we'll save those for later. Alright, let's keep sailing to 12, and we'll get to the Night Sword after that. We've got a double task going from Pandemonium to Port Sarim. Let's get her done. Nine sailing. These double tasks are going pretty hard. We're actually starting to pick up double tasks one way or another. We don't have to do the back and forth, actually. Whoa, what is this? Okay. Oh, buddy, you're about to get something good. Oh, let's go! Uncut Sapphire, huge. I don't know how we can get those otherwise. Maybe gem shops in the future, but having this early might make a difference. 10 sailing. You can now dock your boat at Musa Point. That's it, guys. That's exactly what we're looking for to start the Night Sword. We're gonna go to 12, though, just to get the requirements for the quest. Holy crap, another one. Let's go. Will you get something a little better than a Sapphire this time? This is almost the same exact spot, too. What do we get? Another Sapphire. Bruh. Ooh, this crate should do it. 12 sailing coming up. And there it is. 12 sailing. You can now chart drink crates after completing prime times. Alright, so it's time to unlock some chunks. So like we looked at before, we have the dock at Musa Point unlock at level 10, so we can unlock that chunk. And like we also looked at before, let's unlock the 3 chunks going up to the White Knight's Castle. So you might be seeing a problem here. We actually don't have a way to get from the Port Sarim dock to the White Knight's Castle, because if we zoom in here, we'll see that essentially any point past this dock is blocked, and so we actually can't enter that chunk. So what we'll do, we still have 3 chunks left from the Port Sarim unlock, and we'll unlock just this one, so that we're able to traverse from the dock where you arrive with your boat, up towards Remington, and ultimately, up to Falador. This still leaves us 2 additional chunks to unlock from Port Sarim, but we're still going to hold off on that until we figure out more about what kind of pathing we'll need to do in the future. Alright, so let's do it. Let's become landlubbers. Okay, so when I started heading out there, I realized Night Sword actually has a 10 mining requirement, and I'm still level 1. But that's okay, because we've unlocked the Remington chunk on the way to Falador. I'm gonna go back to the bank here at Pandemonium, pick up a pickaxe, and on the way over to Falador, we'll get up to level 10 mining in the Remington mine. So I was thinking here, we should probably bank this copper for the future. We may need some copper bars for the sailing unlocks, and it would be huge to just be able to smelt them and have them in the bank ready to go. So in sailing, they added a bank deposit box that looks a little bit closer than the one to Entrana. We'll use that one at the Port Sarim docks and bank up all of our ore from 1 to 10 mining. I think through this mining adventure, Keelbound has decided that he does not like the land. The mining rates for tin are awful. Also, I just want to make sure that there weren't any tin nodes on any islands anywhere, so I wasn't shortcutting anything. And I was using unlock tiles instead of sailing tiles. Turns out there actually isn't that much tin in the world, and all of it is on land. So this is one of those scenarios where the additional chunk unlocks at a port are pretty much enabling us to get past some really, really hard requirements for these quests. Alright, there it is, 10 mining. That's all we need to start the Night Sword. Let's do it! Ah, the white walls of Falador. Oh, pit stop at the furnace. And off to the castle. So, once again, as I'm walking around, I've realized there's a bit of a wrinkle in the plans. In fact, it's kind of a big wrinkle. If you remember, during the Knight's Sword, you have to go and find Thurgo, who's down on Mudskipper Point. He's the one that ultimately crafts the sword for the quest. However, to find out about Thurgo and the Encanto Dwarves, you have to go to Varrock. And Varrock is nowhere near a sea.